Somewhere, deep in the Ozark woods, lurks the two people everyone tries to avoid the most. If you're not careful, they may find you before you find them. Grandma's got her laptop in there, and she's got a Vikings DVD in it. It keeps repeating itself, but she's got some noise in there, so I won't disturb her. It just keeps playing the same episode over and over. I think we bought the whole. Uh, I think we're missing the last season of Vikings. Oh, she's in there watching that, or at least sleeping to it. All right, Don Lemon or Lemon brings on lawyer that says Jussie Smollett did or Jussie or I don't know how he pronounced it. I've heard it 30 different ways. I think most of them are making fun of him. Anyway, it's a black conservative perspective. Let's go and see what he's.
You would think that after Jussie was found guilty of faking this hate crime against himself, that the media, people like Don Lemon and Joy Reid, would come out and react to it, right? They would give us a reaction, tell us what they really feel, and we're gonna get into that. Now, first, we're gonna start with Don Lemon, who hopped off the Jussie train a little early, right? He hopped off.
But I've also got to tell you, to be quite honest, that a lot of people, including people in the community, people of color and gay people, had questions about this from the very beginning, the veracity of this story. A lot of people were reasonably skeptical about Jussie's story. Some of the details just didn't seem to make sense. And as we always say around here, facts first. But the facts raised a lot of questions. So many questions. As I said, there were credible reasons to be skeptical of this. And there were a lot of people who were. Who's going to be out in the frigid cold streets of Chicago in the middle of the night looking for an Empire Star? You've got to be bundled up in that kind of cold. How do they even know it's you? And let's be honest, there are probably not a whole lot of MAGA fans.
When, even smart enough to figure out, like, hey, you know what? I don't necessarily think that this is true, okay?
Okay, guys, if Don Lemon is smart enough to figure it out, one of the well, one of the most ignorant people on television right now, one of the most ignorant news anchors there are. Now that Chrissy Como's gone, he's probably top of the top. Of course, he's got Joy Reid and those others too. But one of the who's supposed to be legitimate news anchors, he's one of the most ignorant out there. If he can figure this out, I think a 2-year-old can figure it out.
Now, Jussie implicated Don Lemon in his trial, basically accusing Don Lemon of texting him, telling him that the police did not believe his story. Now, this is a big deal because he's basically accusing Don Lemon of interfering with a law enforcement investigation. And the only way that Lemon would know that information, in my opinion, is if he used his resources at CNN to do so. Now, that's a big deal, right? That's a very serious allegation, and that's an allegation that possibly get Don Lemon.
But okay, I'll give him this because I've been around newsrooms, you know, years ago when I was around newsrooms for a little while when I was thinking about going into journalism. Okay, you got Don Lemon. He's the main anchor at CNN for them. He knows all of the stories that are being tossed around in the office. They have their meetings. One of the reporters says, "Hey, we've gotten this from the police blotter, from the radio, from the chatter at the police, whatever. So do we want to cover it?" So Don Lemon's going to know what's going on. His people that are out looking for the news and bringing him ideas for stories, and he's going to get wind of it. He's going to hear about it through the ranks out in the office. This is going around. Hey, we just heard from the police department that They're doubting that this thing is legit, and they're investigating. And one of the first people they want to go find is Jussie, and they're looking for him to talk to him. Do you want us to cover this any further? Don Lemon's going to hear this. He's going to hear this going around, and then that gives him the opportunity to go in and call Jussie and say, "Hey, they're coming for you. They're coming looking for you." So he could have heard it just offhandedly, but the fact that he called, if he did, allegedly, we'll follow with everybody else. Allegedly, okay. Uh, it's reasonable that he would have heard. It's he should have heard, because if he did not hear the various news stories that are popping around inside the studio and potentially are going to be covered either at the next broadcast or being investigated for future broadcasts, he's going to know all of these. So he would have been in the know. Now, did he need to call Smollett and warning? No, there was no reason for that. So, but I personally do not believe that he would have had to have gone out of his way to find out any information. He could have just heard it offhandedly walking past a cubicle or something, if they've got cubicles, or the desk, however they've got their offices set up. He could just be walking. He could have been walking through the investigator's room on the way of getting coffee or on the way to another, and just heard chatter, or he may hang around listening to chatter and say, hey, yeah, find out more about that. That's interesting to me. You don't know. So I don't think it's fair to sit there and accuse the man of deliberately seeking out information and attempting to uh, block a harm or interrupt a police investigation. I don't think that's a fair assumption, but it could be true, but I don't think it's a fair assumption. Let's go with innocent until proven guilty. He just innocently, offhandedly heard comments, and without thinking it through, he called Smollett and said, "Hey, there's a gossip going around. There's a rumor going around that the police don't believe your story, and they're coming to talk to you. You might want to be ready for it." And this could have been before Don Lemon started actually thinking about the facts, and oh yeah, this is kind of iffy, and I don't know that I want to stick my neck out for this one. That could have been the story. We we just got to go with that. Give the least worst case scenario. Okay, I'm back. Go in. She's got the Instapot on with some soup in it, and it started making noise. I had to go in and change the setting, put it on hold or keep warm or whatever, because it said it was done. So that'll be our lunch and dinner today is we're having soup, homemade soup. Yeah. So I had to go in and check that, so it didn't. That's what I heard going off, was the beeping noise. So anyway, let's get back to what we're going on here. There's my cursor. There we go. Come on, you can do it. What's going on here? We lose signal. We buffering for girl. We're buffering. Okay, let me check and see if I can connect to another channel. Get a better signal. Let's see if this other channel will give me a better signal. They're both weak. You can do it. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, come on. I got faith in you. I know you can. I know you can. Positive mental attitude. Come on. I don't know that it's any better. I don't know that it's any better. Let's see. Give it a second.
Gonna get prison time?
I think so, because he's facing 3 years. The judge can give him probation. But I think when a judge looks at all of those things, punishment, deterrence, you don't want people acting this way. Hate crimes, you made it up. People really have hate crimes. You look at the issue of expending of resources, that's a problem. You get understanding, you lie about it. And so I think the judge has to fashion a remedy appropriate not only to him, but to send the message to all of us that they probably not.
Jackson, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
But Don Lemon is salty, right? Don Lemon is salty. He's a salty lemon. And I can 100% understand why, right? Because the things that Jussie accused him of, Don could potentially get in trouble for, right? So Don brings on the way, right? Yeah, one of the only people I've seen actually saying that this man might actually do prison time for this, to say that I think he's going to do prison time because, one, he wasted police resources, right? They could have been using those resources on other things. They said they were using it on him, and I believe the cost of that was like over like $100,000 or something like that he spent on that. And then he says that because Jussie lied to the jury, right? Lied to the judge, lied in court. The judge has to consider that. That's why this lawyer is concluding that, hey, you know what? I think he's gonna get prison time, and I think that was music to Don Lemon's. I think it was music to his ears.
When awe-inspiring our lives created, and the reason the human race forges on. It is women who are the life force, not weak-chinned blow.
Joy, not anymore. We're not that far from not needing you anymore. Actually, we don't need you, period, because you're a we don't need your stupidity spreading across this country and making things worse than they already are. But like I've said numerous times, you you're not as special as you think you are when we get down to it. Yes, women are very special. I love them and I adore them. But women like this, they got their head so far up their ass they need a plexiglass belly button just to find their way around the house.